Made sacrifices. At 13, you moved to Spain. Take us through your days. What did you miss as a child?
I missed my family. I spent a lot of time away from my family. I missed my homeland. It was a different culture. It was different everything when I moved.
The 21-year-old tennis star had conquered center court, defeated Grand Slam champions, and become a national hero. But when she looked back at the moment that changed everything, her voice trembled. I missed my family. I spent a lot of time away from my family. I missed my homeland. It was a different culture. It was different everything when I moved. Eala was just 13 years old when she left the Philippines to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain. A child, barely a teenager, saying goodbye to everything she knew, her parents, her brother, her friends, her home. All for a dream that nobody from her country had ever achieved before. She missed prom. She missed all teenage experiences. She spent birthdays and holidays thousands of miles away from the people she loved most. And yet, she says she would choose it all over again. The decision that changed everything the year was 2018. Eala was just 13 years old when she made the decision that would alter the course of her life forever. She packed her bags, said goodbye to her family, and boarded a plane to Spain to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. A child, barely a teenager, leaving behind everything she knew for a dream that nobody from her country had ever achieved before. The academy became her new home, but it was not an easy transition. She had to learn a new language, adapt to a new culture, and adjust to the rigorous demands of professional training. She missed birthdays, holidays, and milestones that she would have otherwise shared with her family. She missed out on experiences that most teenagers take for granted. The school dances, the casual hangouts with friends, the comfort of coming home to a familiar room. But the weight of that decision did not fall on her alone. Her parents, Mike and Riza Eala, had made sacrifices of their own. Her father, a businessman, and her mother, a high-ranking finance executive at Globe Telecom, had to balance their careers with the demands of supporting a professional athlete. They found themselves traveling across the globe to be with Alex in most tournaments she played, all to give their daughter a sense of normalcy in a life that was anything but normal. The decision to move to Spain at 13 had been driven by necessity. The Philippines did not have the infrastructure, the coaching, or the competition to develop a world-class tennis player. The Rafa Nadal Academy offered a path that was simply not available at home. And Eala, even at that young age, understood what she was sacrificing for the chance to chase her dream. The weight of sacrifice. When she looks back at the moment that changed everything, Eala's voice is filled not with regret, but with gratitude for the family that had made it all possible. When I think about what I sacrificed, I also think about what my family sacrificed, Eala recalled in an interview with Karen Davila. It's not as often now that we get to be together and complete. But everyone understands the need for that, for me to stay at the academy and to train professionally. Her parents, Mike and Riza Eala, had made sacrifices of their own. Her mother, Riza, a former SEA Games bronze medalist in swimming, understood the demands of elite sports better than most. She had been there herself. She knew what it took to compete at the highest level, and she was determined to give her daughter every opportunity she never had. It's almost hard to call it a sacrifice because we enjoy every minute being with Alex, her father Mike told reporters. Every sporting parent will tell you there are certain things you need to commit to achieve bigger goals. And then there was Miko. Her older brother had been training at the Rafa Nadal Academy alongside her, and he became her anchor in a foreign land. He was the reason her parents felt comfortable sending their 13-year-old daughter thousands of miles away from home. With Miko there, Alex was never truly alone. I know they've sacrificed a lot, and it shows in the efforts they give me and the love they have, Eala said. It makes me so filled with joy when I see how proud they are when I am playing on center court, or just even when I am doing the small things. Eala's recognition of her family's sacrifices had become one of the defining themes of her career. At the Philippine Women's Open, she had delivered a tribute that moved the nation. For me, playing at home, it's added pressure, but it's nothing compared to the pressures that regular everyday Filipinos have to face providing for their families, Eala said. It's nothing compared to what my parents have sacrificed to bring me here. Her words were a heartfelt acknowledgement that her triumph was inseparable from the countless hours of selfless support, behind the scenes from her parents and from the fabric of Filipino families striving every day. The opportunity that changed her life, the turning point, came when Eala won the prestigious Les Petits tournament in France at age 12. The victory did not go unnoticed. Recruiters from the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain, reached out with an offer that would change her life forever. A scholarship to train at one of the most prestigious tennis academies in the world. A chance that few from the Philippines had ever received. It came as a shock because I was young. I was 13 when we made that decision, and it was a big decision for us, Eala recalled. I knew that I had to get out of the country eventually to improve. For Eala, the decision was obvious even at such a young age. As soon as I heard that, I jumped at the opportunity because I knew that I had to get out of the country eventually to improve, she said. But as she had always acknowledged, her family bore the burden alongside her. With her brother Miko already there as her anchor, her parents could say yes to the opportunity. The move was a calculated risk, a leap of faith that required the entire family to believe in something that had never been done before. And as Eala would later prove, that leap of faith would pay off in ways none of them could have imagined. The girl who left at 13 would go on to defeat Grand Slam champions, conquer center court, and become a national hero. But the journey was just beginning. Finding home in a foreign land, the young tennis star had been far from home for nearly a decade. But instead of losing herself in the distance, she found new ways to stay connected to the country she left behind. Sa tingin ko, malaking bagay yung lengguwahe sa kultura, Eala revealed in an interview that went viral across social media. Kasi sa akin malaking bagayan sa pagiging Pinoy, kasi that's how people bond. For the Filipina sensation, language was the key to keeping her identity intact while training thousands of miles away in Mallorca, Spain. She acknowledged that after years abroad, her Tagalog could sometimes falter. But instead of letting it slip away, she actively worked to maintain it. I made it a point na magbasa ng mga libro na Tagalog, she shared candidly. Nakikinig ako sa OPM, pinapanood ko yung news. Basta lahat ng magawa ko na masustain yung Tagalog ko, ginagawa ko. The words carried the weight of someone who understood that being Filipino was about more than just a passport. It was about connection, about humor, about shared experiences that could not be replicated anywhere else. Yung mga Pinoy humor, yung mga trending sa TikTok na Pinoy jokes, yan I'm into it, she said. The admission was a glimpse into how she stayed grounded in a life that could have easily disconnected her from her roots. The books, the music, the news, they were all threads that tied her back to home. But Eala's commitment to her roots went beyond language. Wherever she competed, she made sure the Philippine flag was visible. At the 2025 Southeast Asian Games in Thailand, she carried the flag during the Parade of Nations, a moment she described as surreal. She wore a barong Tagalog designed by Aval Bacudio, but the most powerful element for her was the Philippine flag pinned on her collar. Eto yung pinaka paborito kong accent, she said, pointing to the tricolors. Her conscious decision to speak Tagalog in international competitions became a defining part of her public identity. Iba talaga pag nakakadinig kang Tagalog, lalo na sa mga world stages kasi bihira lang nangyayari yun, she explained. Staying Filipino in a world that pulled her away for Eala, staying connected to her roots was not just about nostalgia. It was about gratitude. Many times I find myself in situations na ako lang yung Pinoy nan. So I never shy away from my being Filipino, and I never shy away from a chance to thank our fellow countrymen, she said. And when Filipino fans showed up in droves to support her in Dubai, in Melbourne, in Washington, she never shied away from acknowledging them. The community that had rallied behind her from the very beginning was always there, cheering her on from the stands, waving the Philippine flag, reminding her that she was never truly alone. That sense of community has brought me blessings. Everywhere I go, ang daming Pinoy nakasabay sa akin na nagsusuporta, she reflected. The tennis academy in Spain had become her second home. But the first home was always the Philippines. And Eala made sure she never forgot it. She carried it with her in the books she read, the music she listened to, the language she refused to let fade. And as she prepares for the US Open and the hard court swing, she carries with her not just the lessons of the Rafa Nadal Academy, but the language, the culture, and the pride of a nation that has never stopped believing in her. The girl who left at 13 had found her way home, not by returning, but by bringing the Philippines with her wherever she went. The sacrifices, the loneliness, the years of being far from family, they had all been worth it. Because in the end, she had become not just a champion for herself, but a champion for an entire nation. And that was a weight she carried with pride.